बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। हेलो फ्रेंड्स, कैसे हो आप सब? उम्मीद है कि एचएपी खैरियत से हों जी। यू आर वॉचिंग जीएन न्यूज उर्दू एंड ऐप तक की आम खबरें ये है। आज तारीख है या
May 19, 2022 Russia-Ukraine war. The United Nations says food shortages, wars have created a global crisis that could last for years. Mariupol, 900 Ukrainian soldiers sent to prison colony, Russia says. How long will it take for Finland and Sweden to join NATO? And what is involved in this process? NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg attended a ceremony in Brussels, Belgium on the 18th of May 2022 to mark the application for membership of Sweden and Finland. NATO, Turkey halts early talks on Finland-Sweden involvement. A diplomatic source told DW that Turkey has blocked talks on Finland and Sweden's bid to join NATO. The issue of US confidence in NATO expansion will be resolved. Turkey has opposed Sweden and Finland's bid for NATO membership, but the United States says concerns can be addressed. What will NATO look like with Finland and Sweden? Finland and Sweden have formally applied for membership of the 30-member military alliance. Around the world news. Australian federal election 2022 live. Labor to release expenditures. At least 49 Quaid deaths were recorded. Australia's unemployment rate is at a 50-year low of 3.9%, but lower than forecast. Positions were added in April. Africa. The United Nations has confirmed the death of one of the last fugitives of genocide in Rwanda. Researchers have now discovered how the virus reactivates its body after it has become inactive. The results can be significant for long COVID research. Chickenpox is a shining example. Itchy skin blisters are one of the 9 causes. Why are some young people in Sweden so anxious about joining NATO? Although most Swedes are in favor of joining, some young people think the decision could be hasty and wrong. The European Union, EU, has unveiled a plan to reduce its dependence on Russia for energy. EU oil extraction from Russia is economic suicide. Putin. The US Embassy in Kyiv reopened after nearly 3 months of fighting. Washington is determined to help Ukraine during the Russian invasion, and the United States says embassy staff are returning to the capital. The White House prepared for North Korea's nuclear test during Biden's visit to Asia. National Security Advisor Jack Sullivan says intelligence reflects the test of a long-range missile or a nuclear test, or both. Under British politics, Tory party pressure is mounting to suspend members of parliament accused of rape. Michael Fabricant MP joked about a tweet that appeared to be a joke about the Tory MP's rape arrest. According to research, 1 out of every 6 deaths worldwide is due to pollution. Middle East news. UN experts say mass evictions of Palestinians are a possible war crime. UN experts are concerned about the Israeli High Court's decision on travelers and the threat of forcible transfer of Palestinians. Israel approves far-right march in occupied East Jerusalem. Authorities oppose the protest with all available police forces, special services and the army. Senior Catholics in Israel have condemned the police crackdown on Abu Aqilah's funeral. Hezbollah shocked by Lebanon's election deals. The Iranian-backed Hezbollah movement and its allies have lost their majority in the Lebanese parliament. Tunisia. Protests point to new alliance against President Said. Members of a new opposition movement accuse President Kais Saied of returning Tunisia to a state of dictatorship. Al Jazeera journalist Shirin Abu Akleh's brother condemned Israeli police brutality at his funeral. Asian news. North Korea's Kim has ordered the military to help stop the spread of COVID-19. Since North Korea reported its first official coronavirus case last week, the WHO has warned that it could spread rapidly to a non-vaccinated country. Ruler Kim Jong-un wants the army to turn the tide. Biden's visit tests South Korean leaders' tough talks on China. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol is facing a difficult process of balancing trade relations with the US alliance and China. Is Bangladesh heading for a crisis like Sri Lanka? Like Colombo, Dhaka has borrowed heavily on foreign loans, prompting critics to call the projects white elephants. Locals blame coal power plant in Maharashtra for death, disease. Research claims that air pollution from a thermal power plant in Chandrapur, India in 2020 killed 1,300 people in the region. Indian court releases assassin of former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi breaking the palace. Young women demand reforms in Thailand as activists turn to new methods of campaigning for change. Thai authorities have begun monitoring and harassing them. We are fed up with nightmares. Thieves loot temple treasures in India. The Taliban called the Afghan Human Rights Commission unnecessary. Sri Lanka's new Prime Minister has warned that the most difficult month of our lives is coming. Sri Lankan President Gotabaya is clinging to power despite violent protests and a new Prime Minister. According to US media reports, flight statistics show that the China Eastern Airlines plane that crashed in March was deliberately put in the nose. Cost of living, stock markets fell on fears of rising prices.
Pakistani news. A meeting of the High Authority Selection Board was held under the chairmanship of Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif, in which the promotion of officers of different groups in grades 21 to 22 was considered. Cases regarding promotion of officers of different groups in grades 21 to 22 were considered. On this occasion, various officers of Pakistan Administrative Service, Foreign Service of Pakistan, Pakistan Information Group, Commerce and Trade Group, Military Land and Cantonment Group and Intelligence Bureau were cleared for grade 22. Among the cleared officers are Dr. Rashid Mansoor, Dr. Syed Tawqir Hussain Shah, Dr. Ismat Tahira, Bashra Aman, Zulfikar Haider Khan, Naveed Alauddin, Hamid Yaqub, Iftika Ali Shalavani, Syed Zafar Ali Shah, Farhan Aziz Khwaja of Pakistan Admin Service. Dr. Fakhra Alam Irfan, Captain R. Saif Anjum, Dr. Muhammad Usman Chachar, Aizaz Aslam Dar, Naveed Ahmad Sheikh, Sara Javed, Jawad Pal, Imdadullah Bozal, Masa Javed, Sardar Shuja Alam, Baba Amin, Surya Ahmad Butt of Pakistan Customs Service, Dr. Ahmad Mujtaba Memon have been cleared for grade 22. Amir Ali Khan Talpar of Inland Revenue Service, Dr. Faz Eli Memon, Asim Ahmad, Zafar Zaman Ranja of Pakistan Railways, Saeed Javed of Information Group, Syed Rafi Bashir Shah of Commerce and Trade Group, Muhammad Naeem Jan of Military Land and Cantonments Group Khan, while Fawad Asadullah Khan of Intelligence Bureau has been cleared for grade 22. A meeting of the High Authority Selection Board will be held again on May 19 to consider the names of the remaining group's officers. Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif, noting the steady rise in the value of the dollar, convened an important meeting on the economic situation. According to details, the meeting convened by Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif will be attended by officials from the Ministry of Finance, Federal Board of Revenue (FBR), and the Ministry of Commerce, sources said. The Prime Minister will be briefed on the Thanks for watching. Please subscribe this channel.